According to local authorities, it's generally believed that the main problem with students succeeding at South River High School is that 80% of the students do not eat breakfast in the morning. So we're going to take a sample of 200 students in this survey and look at the probability that over 87% of the students from this sample of 200 claim that they do not eat breakfast in the morning. This is categorical. Our statistic is p hat. The parameter is p, which in this case is 0.8. So using these values, let's look at a sampling distribution. So if the parameter is 0.8, the mean of the sampling distribution will also be 0.8. So what's the probability that our sample of 200 is greater than 0.87? Well, let's calculate the standard deviation for this. It's the square root of p times 1 minus p over 200. We're going to try to use normal probability to calculate this. So we see that n times p is 160, n times 1 minus p is 40, which means we have more than 10 successes and 10 failures expected from our sample. So using with the large counts condition met, we can use normal probability. But that's not the only thing we have to check. We also need to find independence. So let's assume that it's a random sample, and then also state that our sample size of 200 is less than 10% of all students at South River High School. So now that we have independence, we can go ahead and use normal calculations to approximate the probability of a sample p hat being greater than 0.87. So let's do what we've been doing since chapter 2. Let's sketch our normal curve here, label it. We have a center of 0.8, that is the p-value, and a calculated standard deviation of 0.028, and then we shade the area we're interested in, 0.87 or more. Let's also calculate our z-score. The z-score is the statistic, p hat in this scenario, minus the parameter p, divided by the standard deviation of our statistic, which we've already calculated as 0.028. So you see that our z-score equals 2.5. We are 2.5 standard deviations above the mean. Using our calculator and normal CDF, I can calculate that the actual area, the area under that curve, is 0.0062. So in conclusion, I can say there is about a 0.6% chance that over 87% of the students from a sample of 200 claim to not eat breakfast in the morning. These are all the things you would have to do in order to complete an FRQ accurately on the AP Stat exam. You've got to state what you know, you've got to check any assumptions and conditions, and then you can do your calculations and make sure you put that final answer into context.